Welcome to Love Bite.
My wife cheated on me with a coworker, and now that guy is obsessed with my wife. Right now, I'm totally crushed. I'm feeling suicidal. I can't eat, talk, or do anything. I gave her everything and sacrificed so much for her. Yet she betrayed me. There are many things, but I will try not to make it too long. We have been best friends since childhood. We go to the same school, and college even has jobs in the same fields. I just had a crush on her since we were kids. She was in 2 serious relationships before me and always ended up getting used. She used to despise cheaters. After some years, we started dating. I cried a lot that day. It was like a dream. That's what I want to hear all my life. After 4 years of dating, we got married. Both our families won't agree first, as in India, families fear love marriages as they always fail in their beliefs. Took us a year to convince them. Now we are 2 years into marriage, and everything is perfect between us. So what happens for some days? She was not normal. She was doing everything the same, saying I love you, doing chores and random kissing, but something felt different. I knew her whole life, and I could see something was not right. Her work was too much those days, so I thought maybe it was because of work. So one day when we were getting ready to go to work, when she was cooking, her phone was on the table, and I read a pop-up message saying, "Please reply, I won't ask again," and "Why are you just ignoring me like that?" It was from some male coworker of her that I had seen before. I didn't mean to read it, but it was right in front of me. I thought it may be work-related, but then I remember my wife telling me that many employees are leaving the company because of conflicts and salary issues. She also mentions his name, so there is no way these are work-related. Then immediately she sits and looks at her phone. Then she looks at me, maybe wondering if I read the message. Her expressions were not normal. She never reacted like that. That's when I got my first suspicion. I still try to ignore this, as I always trusted her, and I can't get myself to ask her about that. Then, the very next day, when she was using her phone, she started crying. When I asked, she said she was very frustrated with work and pressure, and then I gave her a shoulder. She cried a lot. She was a strong woman who always took the stand. I don't understand what could cause her to be down like that. She was down for a week like that, and I found her crying many times. I asked her many times what was going on, but she never gave a proper answer. I did everything as a good husband. Then suddenly, after 1 week, I got a message from an unknown number where he sent me pictures of my wife in bed with some guy cuddling her. She was asleep naked, and the guy's face was not visible in the pictures. There are 2 pictures of different places. Feels like my heart stopped for some time. I couldn't believe what my eyes were seeing. Still, at that time, I thought he must have forced or blackmailed her, and that's the reason she was acting weird. Though cheating never crossed my mind at that time, I always trusted her 100%. I was in road traffic at that time, returning home from work. Somehow, I came home running to her and said we needed to talk. She started crying. She knows what I'm going to say before I can say anything. She starts saying, "I'm sorry. It was never meant to go that far. I love you. I made a mistake. Please forgive me." That's when my world crashed. I had convinced myself that she couldn't do it, but she confessed herself that it was consensual and she cheated. Not even a single word came out of my mouth. I couldn't hear what she was saying. Feels like all my senses stop, and I turn blank. I just left and didn't say a word. She tried to stop me, but I just left. I just walked here and there and came home like 4 a.m. after accepting it was reality. Not a dream. She was still crying on the couch. She tried to hug me, saying I love you nonstop. I pushed her away, sat down and said calmly, "How can you do this? We are both happy and everything is perfect." "I'm sorry. I love you," was the only thing she could say. I said, "Do you have any idea what you have done? You just crushed our dreams and everything we built together for years. What have I not done for you? I gave up my dream job so that I could work in my home city and live with you. I allowed you to do a job going against my family. My family never allowed women to do jobs. I bought the house for us with every single penny in my pocket because you want to live separately from my family. There are many things, but I can't tell all of them, but I did so much for her. Now I feel like she never appreciated any of them. She didn't say a word, just sobbed. Then I asked for her explanation of how it started. when it happened, and why she did everything she did. She said it was just a one-time mistake. It just happened. It's not because of you that I was selfish. I took all responsibility for my actions, and I will do anything you ask. I will leave my job and do everything as you say. She looks guilty and remorseful, but she is not being totally honest. It was not one time, as I mentioned, there are 2 pictures of different places, a probability she doesn't know that I know, and then when I show her pictures her face turns pale, she said, and he forced her a second time. At that time, 100% trust turns into 0 and you absolutely can't believe a word she says. I ask her if she loves him or if she wants to leave me. Everything I ask her, the only answer I get is no. After talking to her calmly for like 2 hours, when I tell her I will leave her or will never come home again, that's when she finally started telling me from the very start. So she said it started when she mentioned our bed problems to one of her friends. She tells my wife how she loves her husband but occasionally cheats so that she won't lose attraction to him, and she tells my wife to try this to get attracted to me again. I don't understand the logic of this. She can't just tell me so we can solve it, but she chooses to fuck another guy. She said she didn't want to do it, but that guy she cheated with tried to flirt with her for some days, and she started flirting back. They hooked up after some days, but after doing so, she felt so guilty that day. They took the day off to do sex in some hotel. She said she made a horrible mistake, but she only loves me. After that, she tries to cut every contact with that guy, but he insists on doing it just one more time. She refused constantly, but when he told her about the picture, she became scared. So she did it a second time to end it and told him to never contact her again. That guy took pictures of her without her knowing both times. After that, he left the company. She says she wants to come clean to me, but she is so afraid because if it comes out to my family or her family, they will make her life a living hell. In our country, people have no mercy for cheating women. If it comes out, both of our family and friends will abandon her. So she didn't tell me, hoping it was over, but after some days he again messaged her. But this time he didn't ask for sex. He said things like, "I love you. You also love me. I know. And we are perfect." He constantly messages her, but she refuses every time he becomes obsessed with her, and he believes he was in a relationship with my wife. He was going to a different state for his job, 500 kilometers, and wanted my wife to run with him and leave me. She showed me their chats. She claims she didn't delete these because she wanted to show me, but he sent me pictures before she could confess. I think she was telling the truth this time, as she has been acting weird since last week. So I believe her story was true because everything adds up correctly and their chats also prove it, but still, their chats were only recent ones and I don't know exactly if it was twice or more. After that, I felt bad about her and hugged her, but then I started getting images of them fucking. That's when I finally lost my cool and got my anger out. I said to her, "You absolutely destroy me. I did so much for you, and this is what you do behind my back. I trusted you so much." I told her how I read his message that day but still trusted her, and when I got pictures of them sleeping, I thought she was blackmailed and that she would never cheat on me. She manipulated you, but still, it doesn't change the fact that you drew him the first time with your choice. You betrayed me so badly and didn't think of me before doing it. After that, I leave her at her parents' house without saying anything since that day. She calls me constantly and messages me nonstop, saying I just want one chance, and I promise I will never do it again. I can't live without you and everything, which is making me want to give her a second chance, but every time I think of taking her back, I get images of my wife fucking that guy, which makes my blood boil. Our families were so worried because we had never fought before. They keep asking, but I will never tell anyone because if I tell anyone, she will be dead to everyone. So this morning, I finally talked to her for an hour about the whole thing. She is truly remorseful and will do anything to be with me and to gain my trust. We talk about all our issues and what to do to that bastard. She says he stopped her texting after leaving the city, but she is terrified as he still has those pictures. But she insists on only focusing on us and forgetting him. She asks if I'm coming to take her. I ask for some time, but the truth is, I'm still confused if it's possible. Feels too much to throw away, like 20 years of my life. I hate her now, but I also love her. I don't know how it's possible. I want to ask if I should give her a chance. First, I want to forgive her as she was truly remorseful and I still love her, but I don't know how it will go because images of them fucking didn't get out of my head. I love her so much. She did too. But how can I trust her again? Second, and most important, what should I do to that guy? He had those pictures, he was living too far, but still, he was a horrible person. What if he starts messaging her again and tries to blackmail her? Also, tell me what I should ask or talk about with her.